as we develop in our Christian walk, so to speak, this journey, one of the things that we want to do is we want to get great at being great. We want to keep getting better in life. We want to keep advancing. We often say the word increase. We want to keep increasing, progressing, developing, training, learning, growing, getting better. We don't want to live a stagnant life. We don't want to get the same results year after year. We want to get better, right? Well, there's a scripture here in 2 Peter that actually teaches us how to never stumble, how to never slip or fall away. How many of you guys know people, not you, of course, how many of you guys know people who've lived a life for God, but then stumbled and fallen away? Well, we don't have to actually worry about that. The Bible tells us step by step exactly what to do to never stumble. And what's cool is you can take this principle and you can apply it to, first let's apply it to our lives, but then we can help our kids do this. We can help maybe our spouses or friends do this. There's actually one of our coaches in our coaching program that we do, the Increase Warrior program is what we call it. Links in the description if you want to work closely with me and my team. We'll help you crush it at life. Shameless plug. But he actually brought this up and did a teaching on it. And I just thought, wow, I need to dive into this thing. So I'm giving him credit. Let's take a look at 2 Peter. Let's go in. It's one of those places where I've got like the whole thing highlighted. You know what I'm talking about? But let's start looking at verse 2. Okay. 2 Peter 1:2. We're going to dive right into this. But real quick, if you are new to the Increase Life channel, this is Increase Life Ministries. And here's what we do. It's a little bit different. I don't want you living broke. I don't want you living paycheck to paycheck. You are God's chosen people. We are Christians. We are followers of Christ. He has promised us and given us everything we need to lead successful lives. We are playing on His team. We are here to expand His kingdom. We need to stop losing. Here at Increase Life Ministries, we show you step by step how to do that. We've got courses, we've got video series, sermon series, books, curriculum, coaching programs, everything you need and more. We've got a kingdom community with like-minded believers who are all interested in increasing. And we talk about how to increase in your faith, your finances, family, fulfillment, and even your fitness. We help you find your thing and get moving in it. The results in this program are absolutely phenomenal. It's why I have no qualms about shamelessly plugging what we do here. If this video blesses you and you'd like to partner with us, if you'd like to join Team Increase, I will give you access to this bonus library of trainings. I will give you access to our kingdom community and coaching opportunities. We've got cool clothing, we got merch, we got shirts, we got books, we got all this awesome stuff to help you win. Links are in the description below. I encourage you, just check it out, pray about it, consider it, all right? Now, 2 Peter, look at verse 2. Grace and peace, this is the Amplified. Grace and peace, that special sense of spiritual well-being, be multiplied to you in the true intimate knowledge of God and of Jesus our Lord. So here's what that means. Grace and peace, that special sense of spiritual well-being, it's multiplied to you the more you grow in the knowledge of Him. Simple. That's all it means. If you're like, man, I feel restless, I don't feel at peace, I don't feel at ease, I am worried, I'm anxious, I lose sleep at night over money or my relationships or business and work, whatever it is, you need more grace and peace. How do I get it? Well, it says it's multiplied to me through the true intimate knowledge of God and of Jesus our Lord. Let's go get some more knowledge. Let's get in this book. That's why I make so many YouTube videos. Man, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, hit that notification bell. I've got trainings and videos and courses and sermon series and Bible studies and all kinds of free stuff that you can just grow in your knowledge of God with. We help you do that. Hang out with us, please. Grace and peace will be multiplied to you. Verse 3, for His divine power has bestowed on us absolutely everything necessary for a dynamic spiritual life and godliness. through true and personal knowledge of him. There it is again. All right. If you want these things, get more knowledge of him. What's cool about that is getting more knowledge of him. That's in your hands. That's in your control, your responsibility. You're not waiting on a pastor. You're not waiting on a preacher, not even me. You're not even putting that responsibility in my hands. It's on your hands. You can control that input. Verse 4. For by these he has bestowed on us, which just means he's given us, his precious and magnificent promises. Listen to this. So by them, the promises, you may escape from the immoral freedom that is in the world because of disreputable desires, and you will become a sharer of the divine nature. Another translation says you'll be able to partake in his divine nature. You will escape the corruption of the world. So, please don't be a news watcher and a headline reader. But if you are, and if that stuff tries to creep into you, those fears that the enemy puts in there to try to get to you, it says, hey, you don't have to worry about that. You're not going to fall by the wayside. Your kids aren't going to fall by the wayside. It's not going to happen to you. Because right here it just says the precious and magnificent promises that God has given you. You already got them. By those things, you will escape the immoral freedom that's in the world. Another translation says you'll escape the corruption of the world. Perfect. I'm going to live here then. That sounds great. For this very reason, applying your diligence, we just did a training on that word, diligence. It means constant in effort, steady application. So you are steadily applying this. The divine promises in your life. Make every effort in exercising your faith to develop moral excellence. So we're going to develop our faith, and we're going to develop moral excellence. This is cool, again, because it puts the control in your hands. I don't like to be a victim. I don't like to be a victim of circumstance. I don't like to say, well, you didn't tell me. You didn't teach me. I have a lot of stories of people being offended at church or at a pastor or a preacher. And it's because the preacher had been teaching something or preaching something for years, but maybe not in its full scope. Maybe he left some things out, maybe some different stuff over here. And then later the person heard another preacher bring the other side of the story or another side and more revelation on the subject. And they get mad at the original guy. You didn't tell me this. How come you didn't preach this? How come you didn't teach that? And they get all offended. Well, that's not the preacher's job. That's your job. You develop in this. You grow in your knowledge. Yeah, that guy's there to help, but that's not the only thing you do. You got to take some responsibility. And that's what 2 Peter's doing. It's putting it back on you, but that's a good thing, because if I just go do what it says, I will never stumble or fall away. I'll escape the corruption of the world, and I'll be able to partake in his divine nature. That's a great place to live right there. Develop moral excellence. And with moral excellence, so just think about that. Moral excellence. Are there some gray areas in your life where it's like, I probably shouldn't be doing that. Probably shouldn't be talking to that person. Probably shouldn't be looking at that thing. Probably shouldn't be scrolling that much on the social medias. Probably should delete some accounts. Probably should, moral excellence. Probably shouldn't cuss a little bit. Probably shouldn't watch that show. Probably shouldn't have that relationship, talk to that person that way. Maybe you got your old buddy and you guys do a bunch of doing like dirty jokes and stuff. And it's like, well, it's cool because it's just the guys. But it's like, let's just operate in moral excellence. We don't need to do that. Those types of things. Develop in that. This is on you. And with moral excellence, develop in your knowledge, your insight, and understanding. Okay. Well, that's easy. I'll just subscribe to the Increase Life YouTube channel. I'll just get on their email list. We send this stuff out all the time. This will help you grow and develop in your thing. And in your knowledge, develop in self-control. Okay. Where do you need to do that in? What areas? Food? That's been me lately. I've been developing in my self-control with what I snack on, what I put in my body. Developing in this. Let's get better at it. Steadfastness. To me, steadfastness means I hold on tight and I don't let go. I'm stubborn in a good way. I'm stubborn with the word of God. I don't quit. I'm not easily moved. I hold tight to my beliefs in him. I trust in him. And in your steadfast, godliness. What are some godly characteristics and attributes you need to work on? I'm talking to myself here, guys. But it's saying these things. There's, I don't know, I didn't count, but maybe 8 or 9 things here. If we work and develop in these things, listen to what it keeps saying. To your godliness, add brotherly affection. And in your brotherly affection, develop Christian love. That is, learn to unselfishly seek the best for others and to do things for their benefit. Now, that's something I can work on. That's something we can all work on. Let's be others focused. I'm going to focus on what can I do for their benefit? Because, man, it's super easy to subconsciously think, well, I can't get anything out of this conversation. I can't get anything out of this relationship. I can't get anything out of this. I'm above them. I'm past them, or something like that, or constantly seeking, how can I get something out of this for myself? Man, develop a Christian love. Learn to unselfishly seek the best for others and do things for their benefit. This is step by step. Just pull up 2 Peter 1 and read through this thing if you need to know what to do. For as these qualities are yours, you have them in you. You just need to develop them. You don't need to obtain them. You've got them. This came with the package deal when you made Jesus the Lord of your life. So he's saying you got these, but you need to develop them. You need to train them. You need to work on them. For these qualities are yours and are increasing in you as you grow towards spiritual maturity. This will keep you from being useless and unproductive. Another translation says, this will keep you from being unfruitful. Jesus said something interesting. He said, you'll know my true disciples because they bear much fruit. I think there's a lot of people that bear some fruit, right? Got your house, got your 401k, got your white picket fence, and that's cool. And that's doing, you go to church, maybe you serve in the kids department once a month. That's great. That's awesome. I think that's just bearing a little bit of fruit. Jesus says, you'll know my true disciples because they bear much fruit. These things I just listed are going to keep you from being unfruitful. They will make you fruitful. They will make you useful. They will make you productive in the kingdom for Christ. This is how you level up. This is how you develop. This is how you grow, increase, progress, and advance. Do these things. You develop in them. You add them. Well, they're already in you. You don't add them to you, but you add the development of them, the training in them to what you do every day. It says, with all diligence, work on these things, constantly applying them, constant in effort. For whoever lacks these qualities is blind. They are short-sighted. They close their spiritual eyes to the truth. They have become oblivious to the fact that they were once cleansed from their old sins. Man, if you don't work on these things. So if maybe you've been of the faith, you've been a Christian for 10 years, 15, 20, 30 years, but you're still over here and you're like, I still don't have, and I'm not developing in moral excellence. I'm still watching stuff I shouldn't. I'm still saying words and cussing a little bit and stuff I shouldn't say. I'm making jokes I shouldn't make. Still watching movies you shouldn't watch, right? I'm still letting in, you're watching rated R movies and TVMA movies and all this stuff, and you're letting in filth, you're letting in curse words, you're letting in nudity and all this stuff. It's like, no, man, I need to develop in this. If you don't work on this, you're short-sighted, you're blind. You've closed your eyes to spiritual truths. This is what it means when it's like, oh, hey, you can watch that stuff. It doesn't really affect me. It doesn't really matter. Like, that doesn't affect me. I can see how it affects someone else, but like, I'm kind of past that. No, it says you've closed your eyes, your spiritual eyes to the truth. The truth is you are affected by it because your heart is soil. Go back to Mark 4. It tells you everything that goes in grows something. Proverbs 4:23 says, guard your heart with all diligence because it determines the course of your life. Man, what goes into your heart determines the course you live. So we develop in moral excellence in a way we're guarding our heart and changing our course for the better. If we're working on this stuff, maybe you haven't developed steadfastness. Maybe you haven't developed self-control. Maybe you haven't been working on those things. Steadfast, man, self-control, man, you might need to say no to some stuff sometimes. I had a friend who says, I try to say no to something I want every day. Just like one thing. Some cookies over there, I'm going to say no. Just going to practice. I remember my pastor telling us early on, it was a hot summer day, and he was like, you know what? It's a hot day outside. Sometimes you need to roll the windows up and turn on the heater and just sweat a little bit and just do something against your flesh's will. Just put your flesh under. Just practice putting your flesh under. Turn the heater on today. Don't use air conditioner tomorrow. Like just some stuff like that every now and then. Just like a little jab at your flesh. Just practice a little bit of self-control. I'm going to say no to that, even though I really want it. Man, it'd be great to turn on the air conditioner in my car. I'm going to turn on the heat instead. Not forever, not every day. I'm just saying every now and then. Hey, instead of a hot shower, I'm going to take a lukewarm or maybe a cold shower today. Just going to put my flesh under a little bit. Man, instead of pigging out for lunch, I'm going to get that salad today. Man, I was really craving this. I was craving it, but you know what? I'm going to say no. Just developing in these things. I've got a good friend who's great at this stuff, and it challenges me. He develops in these things daily. And so when I'm around him, it makes me want to too. It's iron sharpening iron. Get these people in your life. Man, find them. And then be one of them. If you don't, you're short-sighted. You've closed your eyes, your spiritual eyes, to the truth. Let's work on these things. Therefore, believers, be all the more diligent to make certain about your calling and Him choosing you. Be sure that your behavior reflects and confirms your relationship with God. Man, think about that for a minute. Does your behavior reflect and confirm your relationship with God? Man, I know people who call themselves Christians, but they'll stub their toe, they'll trip on something, and they'll punch a wall. They'll cuss. I've been around people who love God. I've been around people who have preached. I've been around people who've done these things. And something happens, and their instant reaction is a cuss word. Their instant reaction is to lose their temper, flip out, get super scared. They get worried, anxious, nervous so easy. Their trust in God just goes out the window with one bad report. They get one bill in the mail, unexpected bill, and, oh, God, why? Yo, get your crap together a little bit. Come on, let's buck up. Let's grow in this stuff. You've been in the game a while. Let's develop in these things. If you don't, you're short-sighted. You've closed your spiritual eyes to the truth. Let's not do that anymore. Let's be partakers in the divine nature. Let's escape the corruption of the world. Man, let's live this life of grace and peace. Man, you can't lose if you do this. It goes on to tell you that. By doing these things we just described, and then it says, this is the Amplified, it says it so well, actively developing these virtues. These are virtues, qualities, and characteristics. If you are actively developing these virtues, you will never stumble. And you will live a life that leads others away from sin. If the Bible is telling me the key to never stumbling, I'm going to go apply that. Now that you've heard it, you have that responsibility too. If you choose not to go apply what Peter teaches us here, if you say, oh, I'm good, then you have to admit to yourself and check yourself and say, I am blind, I am short-sighted, I've closed my spiritual eyes to the truth. That's up for you to decide. Part of what we do here at the Increased Life is I want to make you aware of what God actually said, because I want every teaching and training I do, I want you to leave saying, I know what to do now. So do you know what to do? If you want to live a life with grace and peace is multiplied to you. That word peace, it's usually the word shalom or irene in the Greek or the Hebrew. And this word peace encompasses prosperity. It encompasses winning and health and deliverance in every area of life. I want that. I want God's grace. I want His unearned favor and His power. I want prosperity and peace to be multiplied in my life, my family, my spouse. I want those things. I want to partake in his divine nature. I don't want to live merely according to my own flesh and my own strength. I don't want to do that. I need to apply these things. Go back to 2 Peter. Go reread it. Man, just read verse 1 through verse 11. Get this in you. Check it out in the Amplified. Oh, man. God is so good. Let's get this stuff going. If this helped you, please like the video. It helps the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell. It helps support me. It helps support what we do here. If you'd like to join Team Increase, I got a link in the description below. And we've got all kinds of awesome bonus content for you. We've got an exclusive membership with me and coaching opportunities and all kinds of cool things. I want to help you go further, faster together in your calling with God. It's a great way to live. I love you guys. We also have a weekly Bible study. Just check out the description. Check out the links in the description. I got all kinds of cool stuff for you there. Let's hang out. Let's keep growing. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.
If this message blesses you here today, would you please pray about and consider partnering with us and joining Team Increase so that we can get this message out to more Christians? It helps support me and my family. It allows us to continue to do this full time and help as many people as possible. If you do, we're going to give you access to our exclusive content. We got a private members only community where you get to hang out with me and the other Increase coaches. You get accountability, you get mentorship, you get all kinds of cool stuff. Pre-releases to books, pre-releases to content and training and courses. We talk finances, faith, investing, family. We just launched a fitness program that's helping people lose weight and keep it off. And it's all done in a way that anybody can do it. Oh man, it's such a great community, such a great program. We'll give you access to that. If you'd like to support us, partner with us, and join Team Increase. There's a link in the description below, and I'll put it here on the screen as well. Thank you guys. I appreciate it, and I look forward to helping you increase to the next level. Love you guys.